Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts, Tom Vassell and Sam Healy.
So, today in our Mad Scientist mixture, we're going to throw in two different games. What game should we pick today? Apples to Apples and Risk? Or Checkers and, let's see, Monopoly? Or Chess and Dominion?
That sounds like a winner.
Maybe it does. Let's be honest though, this is Victory Point Games, and their games, you know, they come in small plastic bags like this. They're not very high quality. And when I read the rules, I said, this is Dominion and Chess. And I thought, loser. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe. Let's see. Now here you can see the board and decks of cards, and the board itself is basically a chessboard. And at the beginning of the game, each player is going to start with a king on their spot, and it even has the Victory Point Games marker there, so you can remember which one it is. And as you can see, the components here are kind of not so good. All the different tokens have bits and pieces peeling off the side of them. The cards themselves have the same thing, but it's functional, it works. And so the way the game works is on the very first turn, players are going to take turns back and forth, and they will have a deck of cards. And that deck of cards is going to be made up of peon and guard cards. These are the two cards that are in your deck. And on your turn, you will draw 5 of these cards. Well, actually, you draw them at the end of your turn, but at the beginning of your turn, you'll have 5 of these cards in your hand. And then you will go through a couple phases. First, you will have your order phase. Now in your order phase, you can do a couple things. One, you can move someone on the board. And a king moves just like a king in a chess piece, so you can move him if you wanted to. Another thing you could do is, if you had any units in your barracks, and as the game progresses, you will get different units in your barracks, you can put one of those in the back row. If they are a footman, which is pawns and pieces that are like pawns, you can put them in the back or the second row. Another thing you can do is you can take an action, you can play a card from your hand as an order action. So you can see this order card here says deploy your unit in any empty space adjacent to your sovereign. So if your sovereign's halfway across the board, you can play this card from your hand as an order action. And there are other order actions you can see here. The +1 order, that lets you play 2, discard up to 4 cards from your hand, draw 1 card for each card you discard. Over here, march your heavy unit, it cannot be captured until next turn. So there's different order cards you can play. But for the most part, ordering will be moving someone on the board. The second thing you do on your turn is an action. And what you'll do for an action is there are many cards that you can play that are action cards. And these have your typical, you know, like this one here, draw 1 card, +1 buy, +2 gold. And that's your action that you'll take this turn. So you have that, but you can also discard any card, and actually discard is too mild of a word. You can take a card out of your deck and put the unit that's on that card in the game. So for example, this peon and the guard card, both of them can be discarded to put a pawn into play. And I mean not discarded, but taken out of your deck completely. You'll then take a pawn and you put it in your barracks. And so what you'll find, and this is an interesting feature of the game, is that there are cards that are very powerful, and bring in powerful units, but they're also powerful cards, and if you put in the powerful unit, you'll be taking that card out of the deck. Now in this game, you always start with 4 decks, because the third thing you do in your turn is you can buy cards. You can see at the bottom of the peon there's a 1 coin there, and that, if you have enough of those in your hand, you can use those to buy cards, because here at the top of the cards, you'll notice that there are prices, this little yellow number in the top. Now these 4 cards are always in the game. The 4 that you're looking at now, the champion, tower, clergy, and consort, because those are the 4 main other chess pieces. A knight, a rook, a bishop, and the queen. And so they're very useful, although you can see that you'll have some hard choices there with the tower, because you'll say, well, I want to put a rook into play, but at the same time, that's worth 3 gold to buy other cards with. And you can see cards like buying a queen are very expensive. But this also means that you can have multiple queens in the game, or 3 bishops if that be what you want to do. But those aren't the only units in the game. You can see all sorts of units here that move in different directions. You see that armor down there in the corner that can move 1 or 2 spaces, or 2 spaces in all different directions. You can move 1 straight, then diagonally. You can see over here, you can even buy another king, so you have multiple kings. Or that legend card there in the middle, that is what I call the Super Knight. Instead of moving 2-1, it moves 3-2 or 3-1. And there's all different ones, including this Avery, which gives you a Griffin unit, which lets you move 1 diagonally and then as far as you want in a straight line, like a rook. So it's a very interesting, powerful piece. In fact, it costs as much as a queen. And then there are cards that don't give you any ability, piece anyway, but they give you special abilities, like that Stables card there. Lets you move a horse piece twice, like your knight or the legend. There's different pieces that you can move twice, and some of these give you really good actions, like this Refinery. Draw 1 card plus 1 card, and you can trash a card to morph one of your units, etc. Now, the rules of chess are kind of there, except that there's no check and checkmate. If your king gets captured, you lose. Or actually, if your last king gets captured, you lose. So you can even have your king in danger. And so the game is going to progress basically where each turn you make a chess move. Whether it's bringing a new piece on the board or whether it's attacking with a piece on the board. So at the beginning of the game, it's 2 kings. But slowly over time, you'll be adding more and more pieces to the board. And they'll be moving around the board. And then you play some cards, and the card play is all about maneuvering on the board and getting the other person's king, or kings if they have multiple. It's not like you can keep building kings forever and ever, though, because there only is a certain amount of cards in the game. And you'll start with 10 decks of cards, plus these 4 basic ones, but there only is 14 decks here, so I'm assuming there must be expansions on the way, because I'm showing you all of them here for purposes, but you only actually use 10 of them over the course of the game. So, again, the first person to capture their opponent's king is the winner. All right. Well, for the crown, I have to say, first of all, that the designer did give credit to Dominion in the rules. He specifically said, I took Dominion and mixed it with chess, basically. And he gave a lot of credit to both games, and then he said that he thought it worked. And I really want to say he's wrong, but I think it does work. I don't know. It's a little slow, though. Because in chess, when you play a chess game, you can play a chess game very quickly. You don't have to, but I can say, I move here. What are you going to do? I move here. Because that's all you have to think about is which piece you move next. Here you're thinking, okay, I'm going to move a piece on the board, and which card am I going to buy next? And I tend to get caught up in the card part when you can fall the pieces on the board.
Yeah, which is what he did. Maybe he did it on purpose.
Well, no,
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, no, here I like chaotic chess. Okay, and this is a little chaotic. One of the things I like about this is there's so many different pieces.
You mean nightmare chess?
Well, any kind of chaotic chess.
Okay, there you go.
I'm saying any chess that has chaos in it.
Gotcha.
I like that. And this one has pieces that all move differently, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
To have different moving pieces. And I think that the interaction where a card can be very powerful, or it's a powerful piece, your choice, that's a neat mechanic to me. Mm-hmm. Because once you get rid of the powerful cards, your deck is almost worthless at that point. So you might want to keep some of those in your deck just to have good cards in your deck.
Right.
What did you think?
I actually enjoyed it. I didn't think that I would, because I'm not a huge fan of chess. I've enjoyed chess in the past, but I've kind of gotten past it. I know that's probably...
Yeah, but you're not a huge fan of Dominion either.
No, I'm not. I'm not a huge fan of Dominion either, but the thing is this, I do like the mechanic that Dominion has. I just think Dominion is flavorless. I like... I like another game that we're going to do in a little bit, and I'll save that name.
See next episode.
And I also like Thunderstone. I love the mechanic of kind of building your deck, and I just think Dominion got too much laud than it is worth, is what I think of it. It was a cool game, but it wasn't all that in a bag of chips.
I think it's all that in a bag of chips. I will agree that it's themeless. I'm just not sure. Oh well, this one isn't very thematic, really, either.
No, it isn't. But I would rather play this than chess. I'll put it that way.
Well, that's easy though.
Yeah.
Would you rather play this than Dominion?
Yes.
Ah, now that's where we differ.
I would rather play this than Dominion because there is the added aspect. It's not just this ho-hum drum, my deck against your deck. I'm trying to get more points before you get more points. There is an actual battlefield to meet on here. And so I guess that's what I like about this a little bit better.
Yeah, my only complaint is, I think it really works fine. First of all, it looks like they copied Dominion, the cards themselves, like I said in the overview. But it moves a little slow for me. But other than that, I was very impressed by this. Oh, I guess one more complaint is the components are horrible. But, that's what you're going to get from...
Okay, hello. It's coming in a Ziploc bag.
No. I understand that. But because it's a game of deck building, you're going to be going through these cards a lot.
True.
So I don't think they're gonna hold up to that many games.
True.
All that shuffling and stuff that you go through.
What's the MSRP on this?
I don't know. That is cheap though.
It's very cheap. So
if they made a nicer version of this, I would really promote it.
There you have it. Maybe take a chess set and.
But then you'd have to find a whole bunch of other pieces.
Yeah, I guess so. But
that'd be cool though.
Yeah, it would be very cool. I'm going to go ahead and vote. I'm going to go ahead and give this...
You're going to Hollywood!
I'm going to go ahead and give this...
Oh, Vegas, I'm sorry.
2 rooks up.
2 rooks up. Well,
yes.
That's exactly what I was going to say. But since I cannot, I will give it one.
Of going first.
I'll give it 1 bishop up. I like it. I don't love the game, but I will say that it's much better than I thought, and I think it's a very solid design.
Yes.
And I think a couple expansions would make it very interesting, for sure. Because the game certainly is built for expansions. Some of the cards you can see, and some of the cards let you do neat things like jump your knights twice. I love that card, even though I hate it when used against me. But it's a good game, and I will recommend it. Although you do need to know what component quality you're getting.
Yes, for the crown.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.